Look around you, the person to your left, the one to your right. In this room, beneath the surface, there is a shared fear. It is not a fear of failure alone, not simply a fear of rejection. It is the quiet dread of the awkward silence, that terrible, hollow moment when the thread of a conversation snaps. It is the anxiety of the boring exchange, the transactional passing of words that leaves nothing behind, a ghost of a connection. It is the frustration of walking away knowing you missed an opportunity. You had a chance to learn something, to influence someone, to make an ally, to connect, and it vanished into the ether of small talk and rehearsed replies. We have all been there. A networking event, a first date, a critical meeting, a simple chat with a stranger that turns stiff. And in that moment, our instincts betray us. We retreat into the fortress of our own minds. The enemy is the silence, so we arm ourselves with the next thing we will say. The opponent is their judgment, so we polish our own story. We enter conversations not to explore the territory of another person, but to plant our own flag. We are in reload mode, a soldier in a friendly fire exercise, constantly chambering our next round of anecdotes, opinions, or facts, barely hearing the shot that just rang out from across the table. We are so focused on the performance, on sounding smart, interesting, or competent, that we forget the mission. The mission is not performance. The mission is connection. This is the fundamental flaw in our approach. We treat conversation as a duel of wits, a series of statements to be volleyed. We wait for our turn to speak. We do not listen to understand. We listen to reload. And in doing so, we miss everything. We miss the slight shift in tone that reveals doubt, the emphasis on a word that signals passion, the hesitation that speaks of a deeper story. We miss the map they are handing us to their interests, their needs, their humanity. We are blind in a room full of data. But tonight, that changes. That anxiety you feel, it is a signal. It tells you the interaction matters. We will not silence that signal. We will use it. We will redirect its energy. I am not here to give you a script. Scripts fail. They are rigid, and people are fluid. I am here to give you a new operating system, a shift in your fundamental mindset supported by 3 tactical protocols you can deploy in any encounter, under any pressure, to instantly master the dynamic. Think of it not as learning to talk, but learning to see the conversation differently. You are not a performer on a stage. You are an investigator in a shared space. Your goal is not applause. Your goal is discovery. The 3 secrets you will learn tonight are the tools of that discovery. They are how you turn a guarded exchange into an open channel, how you transform a polite stranger into a potential ally, how you move from the anxiety of what do I say next to the confidence of knowing exactly how to navigate. The promise is this: by the end of our time, you will have a method, a simple, repeatable method that works in a boardroom, at a charity gala, or in a quiet corner with someone you wish to truly know. It requires no pre-prepared material. It relies only on your presence and your willingness to apply a different kind of focus. We begin by dismantling the reload instinct. So we'll replace it with a far more powerful weapon: focused attention. The first secret lies not in your mouth, but in your ears. And it is the foundation for everything that follows. It begins with listening. That instinct to reload, to build your next statement while the other person is still speaking. That is the noise we must silence. So we begin by taking that weapon you've been polishing, the next clever thing you want to say, and we lower it, not discard it. We simply lower it, because a conversation is not a duel. It is a joint investigation. And your primary tool in any investigation is not your voice. It is your attention. Think of the last time you felt truly, profoundly heard. Not just heard, but understood. The person gave you the gift of their complete focus. Their eyes did not glaze over. They did not glance at their phone. They did not wait for a pause to hijack the topic. They were with you. In that moment, you felt seen, your guard lowered, your willingness to engage soared. That is not an accident. That is a tactical advantage, and it is one you can give, and in doing so you instantly command the room. This is secret first. Listen to understand, not to reply. Most people listen as if conversation is a turn-based strategy game. Your turn ends, their turn begins. This is a fatal error. It treats the other person as background noise to your own internal monologue. The moment they speak, your cognitive resources divert. What does this mean for me? How can I top that? I have a story like that. Your focus abandons their words and retreats to your own arsenal. You are no longer in the conversation. You are in your own bunker. We will not operate from the bunker. We will operate in the field, right beside them. The technique is simple, but it requires discipline. It is called looping. You listen, not for a break in the sound, but for the core sentiment, for the key word heavy with meaning, for the emotion behind the data. And then in your response, you loop it back. You show the receipt. You prove the signal was received. They do not say work has been incredibly busy. And you reply with, yeah, me too, it's crazy. That is a dead end. That is two monologues passing in the night. You listen. Work has been incredibly busy. The key is the weight on the word, the slight exhaustion. You loop it. You say that word busy, it sounds less like a schedule and more like a siege. What's driving that right now? Do you see the shift? You did not just hear a fact. You heard a feeling, and you reflected it. You are no longer talking about the weather of their job. You are asking about the climate. You have instantly moved 3 levels deeper. You have shown a level of listening so rare it disarms completely. Or they say, I'm really excited about this new project. Most will say, oh, cool. What is it? A surface level probe. But you listened. You heard the genuine energy and really excited. You loop it. You say, the excitement in your voice is clear. What's the part of it that's actually got you fired up? You are not just asking for a description. You are asking for the source of the flame. You are investigating their passion. People will gladly give you a manual on their work. They will passionately describe the fire that fuels them if you show you see the spark. This is not parroting. Do not simply repeat their last 3 words like a bot. That is an insult. This is listening for the heart of the message and holding it up for them to see. So the challenge isn't the workload itself, it's the unpredictability. It sounds like the win for you wasn't the award, it was the team finally getting the recognition. The benefit is twofold, and it is immediate. First, it builds an instant, unbreakable rapport. When you demonstrate that level of understanding, you create a psychological bond. You have validated their internal experience. You have told them without saying it, your reality is real, and I perceive it. People trust those who understand them. They open doors for them. Second, and this is critical for mastery, it gives you superior intelligence. While they are talking, you are not planning your autobiography. You are mining for data. The key word, the emotional tone, the core concern, these are your clues. They are handing you the map to the entire conversation. Your next move, your next question, is no longer a guess. It is an informed deduction based on the intelligence they just provided. You are building the bridge from their side of the river, not throwing ropes from yours and hoping they catch on. This is the cornerstone. This focused attention, this looping protocol, is what turns a conversation from a series of statements into a shared excavation. It makes the other person feel like the most important person in the room. And when someone feels that way in your presence, you have not just mastered the conversation, you have gained an ally. You have made the silence between you not awkward, but potent. A space of thought, not panic. Now, with the guard lowered and the map in your hand, you must know how to chart the next move. You must ask the question that doesn't just keep the conversation alive, but makes it worth living. Now you are listening. The internal noise has stopped. You are in the field, not the bunker. You have the map they have given you, the key words heavy with meaning, the core sentiment you have expertly looped back to them. The rapport is established. The channel is open. A lesser operator would now relax. That would be a mistake. An open channel can still carry a weak signal. It can still deliver trivial data. The art is in strengthening that signal, in deepening the transmission. This is where most conversations fail. They settle for the surface. They ask the obvious question. They take the map and follow only the main road. We will go off-road. This is secret second, master the art of the layered question. Most questions are dead ends. They are transactional. They are closed loops. How was your day? Fine. What do you do? I'm in finance. These are not questions. They are social rituals. They are the equivalent of checking a pulse. They confirm life, but they do not explore it. They are predictable, and predictability is the enemy of engagement. When you ask a question the other person has answered 1,000 times, you force them into autopilot. Their eyes may be on you, but their mind is elsewhere. You have bored them. And in a conversation, boredom is a tactical failure. Your goal is to wake them up, to surprise their mind into a genuine response. To do this, you must ask a question that is slightly left of center, a question that shows you are not following a script, but engaging with the specific intelligence they have just provided. You must layer your question. The technique is called "that reminds me, I wonder." It is a bridge built from their material to your curiosity. You take the key element you looped, the siege of work, the fire of excitement, and you connect it to a deeper, more personal, or more opinion-based inquiry. They say, after your loop, "Yeah, it's the unpredictability. I can't plan my own time." The PR, predictable follow-up, that sounds tough. Is your boss flexible? It's fine. It's safe. It stays on the surface of the problem. The layered question uses the connection, the unpredictability. That reminds me, I wonder what a perfectly predictable day would look like for you. What's the first thing you'd reclaim? Do you see the pivot? You are no longer just discussing the problem. You are exploring their values. You are asking them to envision a solution, to articulate a personal ideal. You have moved from complaining to co-creating, or from the excitement loop, the part that fires me up, is the design challenge. It's like a puzzle. The standard reply, "That's great. I love puzzles too." A dead-end statement of commonality. The layered question, a puzzle. That reminds me, I wonder if you prefer the puzzles that come with a clear picture on the box, or the ones where you have to invent the image as you go. You are no longer talking about their job. You are talking about their fundamental cognitive wiring, their approach to ambiguity, their creative philosophy. You have asked a question they have likely never been asked about a topic they love. You have made them think. This is not an interrogation. It is an invitation to explore. The "I wonder" framing is crucial. It is humble. It is curious. It does not demand. It wonders aloud. It makes the conversation a shared exploration of a thought, rather than a demand for a personal fact. People are more willing to share their philosophy than their salary. They will more gladly describe how they think than what they did last Tuesday. The benefit of this is absolute clarity in a noisy world. It instantly transforms small talk into a meaningful exchange. It uncovers not just what someone does, but how they think and what they value. This is the intelligence that matters. This is how you find the shared interest that is not obvious. Not "we both like movies," but "we both value elegant solutions under pressure," or "we are both frustrated by needless complexity." Most importantly, it makes you memorable. In a sea of people asking, "What do you do?" you are the one who asked, "What part of your work feels most like play?" In a crowd asking, "How was the conference?" you are the one who wondered, "What was one idea you heard that contradicted your own thinking?" You become not just another face, but a distinct mind, a catalyst for their own thoughts. You now have the foundation of listening and the tool to build depth. But a conversation cannot be an interview. You cannot simply gather data. You must also contribute. And here is where the final, most critical mistake is made, the mistake of believing you must be perfect. You have the floor. You have the floor. The layered question has landed. They are thinking, their eyes alight with the surprise of a query that matters. They are formulating a response. And in this moment, a primal panic often sets in. The silence stretches. 2 seconds. 3. It feels like a chasm opening at your feet. Your instinct, honed by 1,000 awkward moments, screams to fill it, to rush in with another question, to blurt out your own similar story, to deflect with a joke. This instinct is your enemy. This fear of the pause is what makes conversations feel frantic, shallow, and transactional. We mistake silence for emptiness. We treat it as a void, a failure of content. It is not. It is the space where thought happens. It is the forge where a genuine response is shaped. Rushing to fill it with noise is like throwing sand into a delicate engine. You grind the gears of their contemplation to a halt. You signal that your comfort is more important than their considered reply. You trade potential depth for superficial speed. This is secret. Third, embrace the pause and contribute with color commentary. The pause is not your adversary. It is your ally. It is a tool. A 3-second pause, held calmly, projects more confidence than 3 minutes of frantic chatter. It tells the other person you are considering their words with the weight they deserve, that you are not on a script, that this is not a routine. It elevates the exchange. But the pause alone is not enough. You must break the silence with the right kind of sound. Not with a new topic, not with a redirect. You break it with contribution that builds on what they have built. This is where you move from investigator to collaborator. The technique is color commentary. Think of a masterful sportscaster. They do not just narrate the obvious play. They provide context, insight, a relevant piece of history, the subtle shift in strategy. They add color. Your role in a conversation is the same. After the pause, you do not simply state a fact or ask another question. You offer a brief, authentic, and relevant observation, feeling, or micro-story that their point sparked in you. You add a layer of shared human texture. They answer your layered question, a predictable day. I'd reclaim my morning run. That's the first thing that goes when the siege is on. The weak response is a statement of commonality. Oh, I run too. That steals focus. It makes it about you. The weak response is another question fired immediately. How far do you run? That keeps it in interrogation mode. You employ the pause. You let the image of the lost morning run hang there. You consider it. Then you offer color commentary. You say, I understand that. There's a specific kind of clarity that comes in that first hour of the day, before the world makes its demands. It's less about fitness and more about establishing a baseline of calm. Or, more personally, that hits home. I remember a project. Oh, understand, using the loop to prove you have the map. You ask a layered question to chart a deeper path. You embrace the potent pause and contribute color commentary to walk that path together. This is the flow. This is how you turn an encounter from a series of statements into a shared journey of discovery. The goal was never to be the most entertaining person in the room. The goal was to be the most connected. Master the silence. It is the canvas on which true connection is painted. Individually, these are tools. A listening loop. A layered question. A moment of silence filled with color. Useful, yes, but isolated. A wrench, a screwdriver, a level. Left on the bench, they are merely objects. Their power is not in their existence. Their power is in their sequence, in their flow. A master mechanic does not think about the wrench. They think about the repair. The seamless, logical progression from diagnosis to resolution. Your conversation is the repair. You are restoring a connection, and this is your sequence. Let us see the system in motion. Let us take a common, high-stakes scenario, a crowded room, a stranger whose alliance could be valuable. The noise is a weapon against focus. Your old instinct would be to approach with your prepared statement. Your what do you do loaded in the chamber. Tonight you approach differently. You make contact. The initial pleasantries are exchanged. The weather, the event, they are a formality, a neutral zone. You are waiting, listening for the first piece of real data. They offer it, perhaps without even knowing. It's a good turnout, though these things are always a bit of a whirlwind. Most would nod and say, yeah, totally. A dead end. You heard the word. Whirlwind. You loop it. You lower your weapon and reflect their signal. You say whirlwind is the right word. It feels less like a room and more like a current. Do you find yourself fighting it or going with the flow? You have not made small talk. You have made an observation. You have used their own language to ask about their strategy. You have listened, and you have proven it. They respond to the loop. Oh, I try to go with the flow, but honestly, I'm here for 1 or 2 real conversations. The rest is just noise. This is gold. They have handed you the core sentiment, the search for substance amidst noise. The map is in your hand. Now, you build the bridge to a deeper layer. You employ secret second. You create a layered question from this material. The search for a real conversation in all this noise. That reminds me, I wonder what, for you, turns noise into a signal. What's to tell that someone is worth a real conversation? You have not asked what they do. You have asked how they think. You have asked them to define a personal value, substance. The question is unexpected. It is layered. It forces a moment of genuine consideration. They will pause. They will look at you differently. The generic party expression fades. They are now thinking with you. They say, I suppose it's when someone asks a question that isn't on the script. When they seem genuinely curious, not just networking. The silence that follows this is critical. It is not awkward. It is potent. It is the silence of a shared understanding being acknowledged. You do not rush to say, I'm curious. That would be cheap. You embrace secret third. You let the silence hold for a 2 count. You absorb the compliment they have just indirectly paid you. Then, you contribute your color commentary. You do not make it about you. You make it about the principle. You say, that makes perfect sense. It's the difference between collecting business cards and collecting insights. One is an inventory. The other is an investment. You have not told a long story. You have offered a concise, resonant observation that reframes their feeling into a sharper concept. You have added a frame to their picture. You have thought with them. Now watch the dynamic. It is transformed. You are no longer 2 strangers performing a social ritual. You are 2 allies who have identified a common truth about the noisy room you both occupy. The conversation now has a spine. It has a theme, the search for substance. Every subsequent exchange can flow from this spine. You can loop, layer, and color around this theme indefinitely. So is that your defense against the whirlwind? To hunt for those unscripted questions? What's the best unscripted question you've been asked tonight? The pressure is gone. You are not hunting for topics. You are exploring a territory you have mutually discovered. This is the blueprint. The flow is not a rigid script. It is a rhythmic pattern. Listen and loop to establish the connection and receive the map. Layer the question to move from the surface to the substance. Pause and color to build collaboratively on the higher ground you've reached. Then, you repeat. The color commentary often contains a new key sentiment for you to loop. The answer to the layered question provides a new path to layer upon. The system is self-sustaining. It is a perpetual engine of connection, powered by genuine curiosity. It works because it respects the fundamental truth. People want to be seen, to be understood, and then to be challenged, just enough to see their own thoughts in a new light. You are not doing this to them. You are doing it with them. You are the catalyst for a better conversation that they, too, are now having. You are no longer a participant hoping to survive the exchange. You are the architect, designing it in real time. You have the tools. You have the sequence. This is how you turn an encounter into an alliance. All of it. Loop, the layered question, the pause, the color. It serves one purpose. Not to make you the most fascinating person in the room. That is a hollow, exhausting goal. It serves to dismantle the wall between you and the person across from you, to turn a face in the crowd into a collaborator, an ally. The final secret is not a technique. It is the realization that makes the techniques work. Your new conversational mindset is this. Shift your focus from performing to connecting. For years, you have entered these spaces like a solo act taking the stage. Your mind was a green room of anxieties. Is my material good? Will they like me? Do I sound intelligent? This is a prison of your own making. Every ounce of energy spent on this internal performance is energy stolen from the mission. The mission is not about you. It never was. The moment you stop performing, you become powerful. When you release the need to be perceived as clever, you become observant. When you abandon the need to be interesting, you become deeply interested. An interest, genuine interest, is the most compelling force in any human interaction. It is a light. People move toward it. They open up in its warmth. The 3 secrets are the mechanics of this interest. The loop is how you prove you are listening. The layered question is how you prove you are thinking. The color commentary is how you prove you are feeling, engaging, resonating as a human being. They are not tricks to be deployed on someone. They are disciplines to be applied for a joint purpose, discovery. This is the core of the mastery. You are not collecting information. You are not networking. You are investigating the landscape of another mind, with respect, with precision, with the understanding that every person is a repository of unique experiences, perspectives, and solutions you have not yet considered. Your goal is to explore that repository, not to rate it, but to appreciate its architecture, and in doing so, you allow them to appreciate yours. So tonight, you leave here with a simple toolkit, not a script, a mindset, and 3 moves. Listen deeply. Silence your own internal noise. Listen for the sentiment, not just the words. Prove you have heard it by looping the core message back. Make them feel understood from the first real exchange. Ask layered questions. Abandon the dead-end interrogations. Use their own material to build a bridge to a deeper inquiry. Wonder aloud. Ask the question that makes them think, not just recite. Contribute with color. Have the confidence to own the silence. Then, add a brushstroke of your own insight, a brief observation that frames the shared thought. Build with them, not just for them. The flow is natural. Listen, question, contribute, repeat. It is a rhythm. It turns panic into pattern. Your call to action is simple. You do not need to master all 3 at once. That is an excuse for inaction. In your very next conversation, on the way out of this room, on a call tomorrow with a stranger or a colleague, I want you to choose just one of these secrets. Listen, truly listen, and loop back one key word with intent. Or ask one layered question that begins with "that makes me wonder." Or after they speak, force a 2-second pause and offer one clear, concise observation. Execute one move with discipline. And then, observe. Watch the shift. Notice how the energy of the interaction changes. See how the other person leans in. Their eyes sharpen. The mask of the routine exchange falls away. You will feel the difference. The anxiety replaced by focus. The performance replaced by presence. You came here fearing the silence, the awkwardness, the misconnection. You will leave knowing that the silence is your tool. The connection is your design. The mastery is not in never feeling the fear. It is in having a protocol to follow despite it. A protocol that places your attention on the external world, on them, and in doing so, gives you complete control of the dynamic. Go. Listen, wonder, contribute, and build your alliances, one real conversation at a time.